Hey, this is Liak Bola with LTAPerformance, and in this video, you will discover why exercise for fat loss is useless. I will provide evidence on why exercise won't factor as much into your fat loss goals as you may think. Now, exercise is very important for your overall health and living the healthy lifestyle that you dream about. But I want to save you from using the wrong strategy for your fat loss goals. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. So I know this is a topic that conflict with what you may think about as far as how exercise factors into your fat loss. And I've come to this conclusion for being in the industry 8+ years and working with so many clients. I've been able to transform hundreds of lives. So I've seen how working with so many to lose fat and have the lifestyle that they want, that exercise isn't what many think it to be. Now, useless really just means that it's not going to lead to the results that you may want, and it's going to be underwhelming, basically. And what underwhelming really means is you're not going to get to the goals that you're probably thinking of if you're just factoring so much on exercise. So let's start really with losing fat, right? If you want to think about it, 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So in order for you to lose 1 pound of fat, you need to burn 3,500 calories. Now, your metabolism will factor in, which is going to be based off of a difference of factors. You know, your age, your gender, your weight, those things are going to factor in. But when it comes to exercise, you have to understand that what we think we burn so many calories when we're exercising isn't really true. So, using an example again, like we said, you have to burn 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound of fat. So, using an example, let's say you work out 5 times a week, which is a pretty good number and a great target for someone to hit. So, if you were going to use the exercise that's going to burn the most calories, which would be cardio, let's say you do that on all 5 of your days, right? So, in all 5 of your days, you're going to do some form of cardio. So, like I said, it can range according to how much you weigh and your age, and like I said, your gender. So, I'm going to give you a range that you can expect to really burn when you're working out. So let's start off with low intensity. So we're just talking about walking. And walking is a great exercise to start off when you're first getting back to it. So this is a lower intensity exercise. You would burn 150 to 180 calories in just 30 minutes. So let's say even if you did an hour, you could double that. You know, you're looking at mostly, between 300 and 360. And remember, the higher limit is going to be if you're weighing a higher with your weight. So that's just a low intensity on its own. So 30 minutes to an hour working out, you're still not burning that many calories. Now let's go with a moderate exercise like jogging, for example. Now jogging, same thing. I'm going to put it in a range. You could burn between 200 and 250 calories in a 30-minute span. So once again, it's not as many calories as you're probably going to think you're going to burn. And jogging, remember, like you have to realize, depending on your fitness level, like jogging is a pretty good moderate intensity. So to do an hour, you'd have to maintain that pace. So to maintain a good jogging pace for an hour isn't easy. And still there, you're only burning at most an hour, 500 calories. And it could be even less depending on your weight. Now we look at even a higher, more intense exercise, let's say biking, for example. Now with biking, very similar. You could burn 250 to 300 calories in 30 minutes. So if you think about an hour, you're burning at most 600 calories. Now it could go, like I said, a little bit more, but not much more. So these are different ranges, like I said, from low to really of a higher intensity. You're not burning as many calories as you may think. And if you're working out, like I said, this is 5 times a week. this is a pretty good high number, you would burn less than that pound a week that you probably think you would lose. Like I said, even on the high end, at best, even if you're working an hour, you're probably going to burn like close to a pound. So maybe, like I said, if you're pushing a little bit more, maybe a pound. But for the average person, even if you're doing cardio 5 times a week, you're going to look at yourself probably burning maybe under half a pound to a little bit over half a pound a week, which, yes, over a course of a year will add up. But for many that are going to have certain goals that they're going to want to hit, like if you're just relying on that, you probably are not going to get close to the goals that you want if you're just factoring so much on exercise. And weight training and resistance training has a very important factor as well. So if you were splitting up in let's say, twice a week with the weight training or 3 times a week, you're going to burn even less calories, because when it comes to weight training in a 30-minute span, you could burn from anywhere from 110 calories to maybe up to 150 calories in 30 minutes. If you're going a little bit more intense in the pace, you maybe look at 250 calories at the max. And like I said, that is the high end of what you can expect. So you're not really burning as many calories as you think. Like I said, it takes 3,500 calories to burn just 1 pound of fat. Now, you're probably saying, okay, if I'm not gonna burn as many calories through exercise, what should I really be looking at? Which comes to my next point, as far as you really need to look at the nutrition. This is why I say exercise is really useless, because like I said, if you're factoring so much on the exercise, it's not going to give you the outcome that you're expecting with your goals. But if you put more emphasis on the nutritional side, you will see how it's a lot easier if you're focusing on that, and you're going to most likely get to your goal if you're really working on that. So think about some things that are very easy for us to eat within our diet, and we may not even think about. So if you think about like snacks, for example, think about the snacks you may eat. A bag of chips, that can, be something from 200 to 300 calories on a low end if you're just eating, a normal serving range. You could look at cookies, like 250 to 350 calories. Like I said, if you're not going overboard, these are just normal servings. Think of some like soda, for example. If you just have 1 can of soda, you're looking at about 150 calories, maybe 2, about 300 calories. So think about, like, as far as what we just talked about, exercise. Just taking out a simple like snack that you may be eating every day, and if you combine multiple snacks in your day, like, you're gonna burn more calories just taking out something so simple as like something that isn't really a lot to do than exercise. Like, you can't burn as many calories as just removing just some of your snacking away. Let's even think about alcohol, right? If we think about some cocktails that you may have, some cocktails can, range on the low end of maybe 150 calories, but you can get to some that are going to be, 300, 400 calories. Like I said, to burn that much in exercise, you probably aren't even burning that much, and just to not drink as many, beverages, just as far as your alcohol consumption. Even, if you're even having a couple beers, if those can range to, drinking, 250, 350 calories, just doing that. That's just, like I said, this is a conservative number alone. So within the exercise, just removing some of these small things is a lot easier. And if we're even looking at fast food, right? Some of these fast food options, you could be eating 2,000 to 3,000, 1,500 calories. And if you reduce those or change those for certain meals, like, you could be looking at very easily, like I said, 500 calories a day. If you did that 7 days a week, that's your 1 pound of fat. And that's a very low number, and it's not very hard to take out, that many calories in your diet. So really a 500 to 1,000 calorie deficit per day, which would lead to 1 to 2 pounds, isn't really hard to do within your diet, just removing some options. Now, like I said, 500 to 1,000 calories a day, like I said, within your diet, you couldn't do that within your exercise. You'd be crushing yourself trying to do too much. And with many, this is what leads to burnout because they think, well, if I just work out so much, but that's very hard for someone to maintain, and it cannot always lead to the results you want because you have to factor in other things as well, what it may do to you when you're burning yourself out like that. So it's a lot easier if you're going to focus on your diet, removing some of these simple items or some of the meals and just changing with others. Like, you're going to burn way more calories than you can with an exercise. So really, if you don't even work on the nutritional side or put as much emphasis on it, it doesn't matter how hard you work out, you really won't make the progress. And I've seen this happen for many where they get so frustrated because they don't understand. They're like, I'm very good with my exercising, but if you put so much emphasis on the exercise part, you're going to neglect how much you need to put into your diet. So very important that you just understand that. Like, just taking out simple, snacks, simple meals in your diet and changing them for things that will help you lose more fat is a lot easier process. Trust me on that. And the next thing, which you may not be thinking about as well, is what does it do to you when you put so much focus on exercise? Now, I know a lot of people think, well, if I ate wrong, I need to punish myself by working out more. And when you punish yourself by working out more, what happens is it creates bad habits. If you think, well, okay, I just ate too many cookies last night, I ate too many chips, or hey, I ate a burger, I ate a pizza. You know what? I need to work that out, and I'm going to do an extra workout. Now you're trying to put a workout in, you're trying to work out an extra hour to be able to do those things. And that's just creating bad habits because you're now using exercise in not the right form as far as the benefits. Now you're using it as a punishment to yourself to help you with your goals when it really doesn't, because now it creates a negative relationship that you're going to have when you're associating with your foods, because now you're going to think of, well, I got to punish myself instead of understanding the importance. And as well, which factors in a lot, if you start to overwork yourself and you're working out so much, you're going to be hungrier, and that's going to cause you to eat more. And when you're eating more, you're going to have so many problems. And trust me, I've seen it working in the gym. I've seen people have really hard workouts, and they right after it, they feel like they have to eat so much because they're like, I worked so hard for it. So you're creating a bad relationship how you're looking at it within your goals. And that's not going to be the right strategy. You're going to feel like a hamster on a wheel. You're not going to make progress because you're going to keep going up and down, because you're not focusing on what really matters the most with it. So the mindset played a big part in it as well, because you need to understand what will happen if you put so much of a focus on the exercise and not understanding the other habits that come with it. Like I said, exercise has many benefits and is very important in having the healthy lifestyle you want. But if you're not understanding how to really look at the strategy for your fat loss goals, you may be putting too much emphasis on it. And a last point I want to go over, which is still a big point as well, is your body will make some adaptations to your exercise. So remember, you're not a world-class athlete. You're not a competition athlete, most likely, right? So when you think about it, you might start off where your fitness levels aren't the best. So when you first start off, you will burn some more calories, first starting off, because you're out of shape a little bit. So you will burn a little bit more, but your body will adapt always. You will adapt to different situations. So once your body is starting to adapt, you won't burn as many calories as well. So this is why some people notice as well, when they don't correct some of the things that they're doing with their diet, they start noticing they're starting to slow down with how many pounds they may lose, because your body is going to make an adaptation. It will make an adaptation. You won't burn as many calories as maybe you started before, as you get in more shape and you start doing some of the similar exercises. So this is another point that you need to remember as well. Your body will adapt over time. So you will not burn as many calories as you may at first. So maybe you get some quick gains with, really overworking yourself, but eventually, even with overworking yourself, your body will make some adaptations, so you're not burning as many calories as you may when you first start. So this is a big concept to understand as well. You can't beat the system basically. You're not going to be able to win on it if you're just so much focused on just the exercise part. No, you have to make sure you're focusing on some of the other habits as I mentioned, as far as the nutrition and other things. So let's recap. So really, number one is you're not going to burn as many calories as you're probably thinking within your exercise. Like I said, you're going to look at most, even if you're working 30 minutes to an hour, you're probably going to burn less than 500 calories. And it's a good chance you're going to be on the low end of that. And even if you're, like I said, you're working 5 times, even every day, you're probably not going to lose a pound of fat, even doing that, which leads to the next thing is the nutrition. Remember, the nutrition is a lot easier to take out some of the items that you may be overeating on right now and switch it for better options, which is going to make it pretty easy for you to lose a fat. So your nutrition will win out. If you don't put enough focus on that, it's not going to help you. And remember the mindset part of it. The mindset is going to be very important to how you look at it. If you're overworking yourself, if you're punishing yourself, it's only going to cause bad habits instead of actually improving their situation with not only losing the fat, but thinking about keeping it off as well. So it's very important that you understand the mindset part that comes into it when you put so much emphasis into the exercise. And lastly, which I just went over, is your body will adapt. So you won't burn as many calories as you continue within your exercise. So if you've been doing it for years and you're actually pretty good with your exercise, you're not burning as many calories as you were before and doing some of the similar movements you have. So it's very important that you understand that. So let's avoid doing the wrong strategy for fat loss. Let's understand that exercise is very important, but it is not as big as a factor as we may think to help us within our fat loss goals. Be sure to like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments. I know this was a great topic. I would love to hear what you think, and watch the next video.